Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday. What's the date? November 23rd. This is the week of Thanksgiving, and it is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you come in, let me know where you guys are listening in from. I am so excited for my Facebook, my YouTube, my Twitter family on today. I'm excited about this topic, as you guys can tell. I'm so honored to be able to share with you guys on this evening. As you're coming in, let me know who's listening to me tonight. I am sure we are going to be informed and empowered. Hi, Michelle. On tonight, our topic, when men hurt. You guys know I'm not coming to talk about anything that the Lord doesn't tell me to talk about. So I'm excited just for the fact that he gave me the topic and he gave me a person. So I'm excited that we are going to share tonight. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. You guys come on in. Let me know where you're from. I'm looking for Alabama today. I mean, y'all been riding with me. So I'm wondering if Alabama is on tonight. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Good evening, Pittsburgh 10-0. Listen, that's how you do it, Tanya. Come on and tell them who your team is and where you from, especially because they 10-0. I mean, they have really, truly been like surprising. I mean, I know the Cowboys fans are happy they got to win this week. We're going to pray for them, but I'm very excited for the black and gold. Tanya said, I'm excited too. Listen, y'all deserve this. Y'all 10-0 in a pandemic. That right there is something to speak about. So I'm excited about that. Come on in. Let me know you guys are in. The numbers are high, but I don't see the people. So let me know where you guys are from. I'm excited to talk to you guys on tonight. When men hurt. I'm going to give y'all, of course, I logged in a little early because I need my full hour. Like, you guys know, I don't usually do more than an hour, and I need the full hour. So I came on a few minutes early so I can run my mouth for the full hour because I have questions upon questions upon questions that I need answered. And I'm sure you have questions too. So hey, Tamika. So as things come through, you can throw them in the chat. But I believe this conversation is necessary, especially for the time that we're in. And a lot of times as women, we get consumed about ourselves. And especially for us that are married or even single, or those who are looking to be married, this is a conversation for you, because at the end of the day, men really do hurt. So when they hurt, how do you know if they're hurt? And what do you do about it? And how you support, and all of these things that we're going to talk about tonight with a true man of God. I say that, what you call it? He's assumed to be doctor. I'm going to keep saying that until we speak it into existence. That's how, you guys were on my journey with me since 2017. I just kept saying Dr. C 2020. Even though I didn't think I was going to make it when 2020 got here and it happened, I said, well, thank you, Jesus. So I say all that to say I'm excited. We got like one more minute. Let me know where you guys are from. The numbers are going up. Please like, please share, please tag your friends. Let's get the word out, because let's be honest. First of all, we don't really have too many men who come on live to talk about a topic like this. Most men that come on live coming to preach. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. However, this is a topic that I know is necessary. Hi, Janelle. How are you? Wait a minute. Is that your wife? Just nod your head, because I know you're in the background. Oh, hi. How are you, Janelle? This is Janelle's boo, y'all. I'm so excited that she's on with us. We're going to. Hi, Jamila. How are you? So, guys, it is 7:01. Like I said, I don't want to waste my time talking to y'all. Not to say I don't like talking to y'all, because I really do. But I want to be informed. And I'm just really excited about our conversation for tonight. So let me bring on my guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself, because honestly, y'all, let me tell y'all before I bring him on. Like, I follow him on social media. I be liking all his posts and stuff, because he be saying some good stuff. Like, seriously, he be saying some good stuff. But I've never met him. I literally have never met him ever in person, ever. And when the Lord gave me this topic, I immediately saw his face. And I slid right in his inbox, say, hey, listen, you ready? Like, I knew he was going to come on eventually. But the minute I saw his face, I was like, oh, okay, well, it's time. So, hey, North Carolina. So I'm going to bring Earl to the screen. Hey!
Hey, how you doing?
You guys, y'all could tell I'm excited. He already knows I'm crazy. Like, he listens to me. So I'm excited. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Go, sir.
So for those of you that do know me, my name is Earl O'Brien. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Earl O'Brien. One of the leaders of Remnant Worship Center International under the tutelage of Dr. Courtney Bradley. I am a husband of a lovely wife, Janelle O'Brien, a lovely daughter, and another baby on the way. I attend graduate school at Fordham University for my master's in mental health counseling. And I've been studying this thing for years. So being in school just actually opened me up more to the acceptance of mental health and just the importance of it in the marginalized populations, people of color, and just the Latinx community.
Wow. So we're excited that you're here. And even though before we came on the live, I acknowledged his leader, I'm excited that his leader released him to come here. You guys know I'm not just doing lives all willy-nilly. We do things in decency and order over here in Kingdom. So we got permission to talk about this. And again, I'm excited that he's here. So I want to just jump right in. And the question that I have is, you guys know, and we're going to talk about Black and brown people specifically and our men. With this whole George Floyd thing that happened, we all seen it. Well, I didn't watch the video because I can't watch stuff like that. It just takes me to a place. But we know what happened. And of course, as a mother, as a woman, I became upset. I became emotional. I became hurt, of all these things. And then, of course, now with all this racial injustice and this unrest that, of course, has always been in existence. It's just that now, because it was on social media and around the world, and let's be honest, now that some white people care about it, then all of a sudden now it's an issue. So I want to talk to you from a standpoint of being a Black man and how seeing that or hearing about it, how did it make you feel? And even as just a man in general, what are those feelings that you feel? I know what I feel as a woman, but what are those feelings that you feel as a man?
When I first saw the video, well, I heard about it first, and I was in disbelief. I'm like, no, there's no way a cop could have just used excessive force like that to pin a man down who was, number one, unarmed, number two, minding his business, just going about his day, and number three, a Black man. And when I saw the video, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, because we're already going through emotional trauma collectively because of the pandemic. We've lost over, probably, I run an estimate, 400,000, probably 500,000 people. And I'm just running off an estimate, just lucky educated guess. And just to see how racism reared its ugly head, I'm like, you can't be serious. We're already going through enough as it is. It's sad that people lost loved ones and they couldn't go to pay their respects the way they wanted to funeral wise because of the capacity was limited. And then you have to deal with this racial injustice, institutionalized racism, and then you have just me being a man. I'm like, when are they gonna stop weaponizing our skin? When are they gonna stop doing this to us? I was so infuriated. I'm like, why did they keep doing this to us? It makes no sense. He's minding his business. And the thing that triggered me the most is when he called out for his mother. Little do people know, his mother died 2 years ago. While this man was on the floor, trying to gasp for air, going through asphyxiation because this officer had his knee on the back of his neck, and I'm sure the pressure in his chest, he couldn't get no type of oxygen. I was just like, okay, so am I gonna actually walk down the block to go food shopping and then have to deal with the foolishness of a racist cop and then see no justice take place for it? Am I gonna have to? It's sad that the thought is even in my mind that one day I'm gonna have sons and I'm gonna have to sit them down and have this conversation with them. So as a Black man, I was automatically triggered. As a man, I just had it's like a dichotomies of emotions because I didn't. It was like I was upset, I was sad, I was furiated, I wanted revenge. It felt like as if I was watching a family member being treated unjustly, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Mm.
So that's
Wow.
how it made me feel.
And we know that men are fixers. So men, if you tell them a problem or if they see an issue, real men. Now we ain't here trying to bash and figure out who real men and who not. We talking about men here. We're not talking about these little boys. We're talking about men.
Mm-hmm.
Men are fixers. And so immediately another man seeing this, and this is my, my opinion, would say, well, Dad, what can we do to fix this? Or is it because, let's be honest, this has been happening to Black and brown men for so long? Like, is it that men are just like, yo, I'm tired, like I'm fat, like ain't nothing we could do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is in that mindset? Because we know it's been happening for so long, but like as a man, because you fight and you fight and you fight and you fight. You take care of your family. You're trying to take care of your kids. You go to jobs that you don't even like to provide for your family. And so what happens in that? Like as a man, because it's like I said, you're the fixer.
Yeah. It's a catch-22 because it's like, and I say that because, like you said, we naturally want to fix things. We feel like a first responder in a sense because we're the provider, we're the protector. So that's an innate thing. It's already ingrained in us to protect. But it's like sometimes we see situations like this in life and we want to fix it, but at the same time it's just like our backs are against the wall because are we going to lose our lives as a result of it? How much jurisdiction do we actually have as Black and brown men? Are we really given a platform to voice our opinions and how we feel and actually develop some type of initiative or some type of strategy to get people that are not of color to open their eyes and say, listen, is this idea of population control? Because this is not smart. You're really taking lives of people that you never given birth to. You just stole someone's son. You just stole someone's nephew, brother, sister. You just stole someone's relative because of an inferiority complex that you have, that it's really a personal problem within yourself. But because your problem is personal, you're making it public and you're taking it out on people because you're really intimidated, but you won't say it. So you let your gun speak for you because you let weapons speak for you. You let your privilege, your white fragility, you let your privilege speak, and you let your refusal to talk about racism because it makes you feel uncomfortable. How can a conversation make you feel uncomfortable, but your presence actually makes us feel comfortable because you might try to take our lives?
Wow.
So fixing a problem is not, when it comes to fixing a problem, it has to be a cohesive thing. It has to coalesce. It has to come together. It can't be hearing the problem and then doing nothing about it. You might as well not listen at all.
Wow. So now, because and of course, and you're the therapist to be. So I'm going to talk about compounding. So now, like you said, we have a pandemic. Then we have racial injustice. And women, I'm not coming to bash y'all. It just is what it is. And then you have a wife or a girlfriend or a mother, a female figure that's in you who is in whatever distress, whatever she's dealing with, whatever emotion she's dealing with, or whatever. And then again, you're the fixer. So it's like we dealing with all. And now I'm trying to protect you and love you and make sure you good. What do men do? Like, what is your outlet? Because we all know, and of course, right now we're in this big therapy movement. Finally, everybody has decided that therapy is the way to go. However, that's a different perspective from men.
Yeah.
And so what outlets do we give our men? Because honestly, women, it's our responsibility to help take care of our men. Again, this ain't the platform. If you ain't got no good man, that's on you. You fix some things and work it out. You leave him or whatever it is, but that ain't
Right.
here. So, but what do we do, and like, what type of outlets are there for this? Because it's emotional, and I do not like when people say men are not emotional, because that's not true.
It's not true.
Men have emotions. They channel them differently and they display them differently. So I kind of want you to talk about that.
Coming from that perspective, I would say, well, before I even talk about that, in order for a man to even have an outlet, he has to first have a safe space. Because if we don't have a safe space, then we're going to tend to display emotions or behaviors of hypervigilance. We're going to always feel on the edge. We're always going to feel to defend ourselves because we've been socialized for so long that men, number one, do not feel. We are a fearless gender. Number two, we don't know how to articulate our emotions. Number three, we don't feel. Just to emphasize number one. And then at the same time, there's not enough compassion to really understand. There's a code that men have. This is going to be crazy. This is a code that men have that sometimes we cannot articulate because as a child, those men that were boys did not have that platform to open up. So as a result of that, what happens? We display those behaviors or emotions in ways of substance abuse, pornography, we anger. When men are depressed, we show anger because we're mad at the fact that we even feel weak because we feel like our weakness is exposed.
Oh, wow.
We feel like our weakness is exposed. So we feel like some people or some women are not mature enough to deal with that. So what happens? We put on the superior complex. We put on the Superman. We rip the shirt. We rip the Clark Kent demeanor, if you will, and then show the S because we feel like that's what some women can actually handle. But what happens when the tears are flooding down our faces and we actually tell you what the real issue is? Are you, number one, mature enough to handle that? Number two, do you actually have the words that we actually may need to hear at that moment? It's different when you are upset because you don't want to babysit a grown man's ego. That's another story. But I'm actually talking about deep-seated emotions that we can't even share with some of y'all because, to be honest, some are not mature enough to actually see us naked like that.
Come on through, sir. Come on through here.
It's sad that it's sad because now it's sad because it's like now we're getting to the root of the issue. So our outlets are unhealthy. They're maladaptive. These coping strategies are very maladaptive in nature. And what happens is only decreasing the mortality rate of men. We already have to deal with a mortality rate in the context of premature death because of the hands of another person, murder, violence, racial, and like you said earlier, I love what you said about we have to work at jobs that we don't like just to provide for our families. There have been multiple times where, if men are watching right now, can amen this. We are sick and tired of dealing with microaggressions in the workplace. I know that Black people deal with it in general, but when we deal with the microaggressions, it's like on us. It's like they're trying to feed intimidation so that we can kiss up to them. Me coming to you for a job never consisted of me kissing up to you. So if I didn't kiss up to you in the interview, I'm not going to do that while my foot is in the door. I'm going to show you the same person you saw in the interview and then work my way up. But what happens is that you're intimidated by my work ethic. So you make up things in your company to actually kick my feet from the ladder so that I don't go up higher, because going up higher means being equated with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Y'all, let me tell y'all. First of
yeah.
all, I told y'all this was gonna be good, and I told y'all when the Lord give me somebody, I already know. Y'all need to like and share this because this is. We already know. We said it before this live even happened. We're gonna do another. We're gonna do another one because
Yeah.
it's needed. It's necessary, and we need to support our men. We can't just support them in word. We got to support them in deed.
Come on.
And in the order to do that, we need to, and I want to go back to that safe space he talked about. Because,
Hmm.
ladies, I've been married over 10 years, and I'm not saying it's been a bed of roses, and I'm not saying it's been perfect, and I'm not saying it's been bad. What I'm saying to you is that safe space is so critical. I had
Hmm.
to learn that as a wife. I didn't learn it before marriage. I wish I would have. I didn't learn it until after I was married. And it's so needed. And I'm going to speak to my Black and brown women, especially those who are praying and asking God for a husband. Lord, send me a husband. Lord, send me a husband. He is not going to be perfect. He is not going to be your knight in shining armor. Even though it may be definitely the man that God has sent for you, he is going to have issues. Therefore, there are going to be times where he needs to be completely naked in
Yes.
front of you. And you can't go run your mouth to your people because you need advice. I'm a firm believer of I have a lot of girlfriends, but I don't talk to my girlfriends about my husband. I
Hmm.
talk to God about my husband
Hmm.
because that's who made him. The
Yep.
problem is that a lot of men do not trust us with their vulnerabilities because we talk too much and
Talk
we
too much.
never shut up. They hear you on the phone talking to your girls. They hear you on the phone talking to your mother. They hear you on the phone gossiping about people in the church. And then the minute if they tell you they're struggling with something or they need help with something, they know you're going to run your mouth. They know you
Come
for your
on.
works.
Come on. Come
So
on.
if you are looking and you're seeking a husband, what you need to do first is learn how to be quiet.
Hmm.
I know that's hard for some of you because you independent and you take care of yourself and you do it on your own. You're going to be by yourself. There are going to be things that you learn about your husband, your spouse, if you're dating, if you're engaged, that you have to keep is between you and God.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, if a man does not have a safe space, he will go find another one. That's where emotional affairs and emotional attachments come into play. Because
Yes.
if they can't talk to you, they're not going to go talk to their boy about their most intimate, dark, hurt, or secret. Because as
Hmm.
he already stated, men already have to have this complex. You know, I have two sons. I make sure I never tell them, you better not cry. You better not show. I'm telling them all the time, how do you feel? Tell me how you feel. What's going on? Why do you
Yes.
feel that way? Did I hurt your feelings? I'm sorry. And we have conversations because what's
Hmm.
happening is when a boy falls on his knee and scrapes his knee and you talk, man up. What are you saying to him? So then those same little boys you telling to man up when they 20 and 30 and they manned up and they can't communicate, then you want to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I needed to say that safe space is so important. So,
Yes.
so, so important. And so women, we have to provide a safe space for our men to be emotional, vulnerable, and naked
Hmm.
without you saying a word. I know
Hmm.
that's hard for some of y'all. But a lot of times they don't even want us to talk. Did y'all know that? You can what you call it. A lot of times when they decide to talk to us, they don't want you to say a word. They just want you to listen.
Doctor,
They just want you to
please.
listen. Can
Yes.
you go into that, sir? Because we talk too much.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
say
telling you.
I'm gonna just start like this. How we process grief. sorrow, disappointment is not the same way a woman processes it. It's completely different. And we all know, whether some people know that, even in the posture of grief, grief is not linear, right? It's a roller coaster. So when a man is going through and he's trying to figure it out, and he's just trying to understand, because like I said to you before, the inability or the refusal, more so the inability of allowing the boys to open up, causes men to not have those words, the verbiage, not to really say how we feel, because like I said to you before, we were not taught how to emotionally express ourselves. We were not taught that it's okay to actually cry. We were not taught. So then so watch this. So now that boy becomes a toxic man, and then women get turned on by toxic men. But you don't understand, it was the boy that was hurt. That's why the man is toxic. Oh my God. The man is toxic because the boy is still hurt. But we dismiss the boy because you want to see the physical appearance of a man. But if you actually take a minute to see the boy, you will understand that that man is still shelled in a space where he doesn't feel safe. So the safe space is your ability to be quiet, to listen to what he's saying, and don't try to read between the lines if he doesn't even know the lines yet. He's trying to figure it out. So it's your job to just listen to him. Don't overtalk, because you may trigger something that he was used to, and then he shuts down. Then you're going to throw backhanded, and then oh God, these backhanded compliments. Oh, you know, he's a good man, but, and then you throw a snide comment, so the backhanded compliment. Yeah, because someone even watch him do it. Backhanded compliment. It's either you compliment or you don't say nothing at all. When we need a safe space, all we're saying is, if God said to us that you are our wives, that was God literally telling us men that you are our safe haven. Oh my God.
That right there.
I feel it now.
I told y'all we gonna do part 2, y'all.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a part 2 to this. Our safe haven. Because now what the world tries to intimidate us with, we feel comfortable actually coming home to you. Worry when your man no longer comes home. Watch this. Hear me good. Hear me good. Be careful when your man comes home, but he no longer sees you as a home. Okay. He no longer sees you as a place where he can unpack his luggage.
Woo! Mighty God. I mean, that was so much. That was so much. I gotta go back, yo. I gotta rewind. That was real good. That was real good. Especially, and I mean, people said, whoo, the boy is hurt, and that's why the man is toxic. That right there. Mm-hmm. That's a white paper. I just want to let you know. I know you know what that is. That's a white paper. I'm just saying.
Dissertation.
Yes. Listen, you need me to read over and do some APA for you. I got you. So
please do. I will pay you.
I just want to talk about that, y'all. That's why we talked about this safe haven is so important. And I feel so sorry for singles. And I try to talk to single women, but you know how it is. Oh, you married already, so you don't know what it's like. I didn't get married until I was 34 years old. I waited a long time. Not that I wasn't asked, but because I knew I was not ready. Mm-hmm. And even when I got married, I married the man God told me to marry, but I still wasn't ready. I still had insecurities and issues. What's wrong with my mouth that I had to learn. And again, women, you're not going to have it all perfectly together, but that's why you surround yourself with women and men who can tell you this stuff prior to you making the commitment, because most people only want to be married because they don't want to be by themselves. I know some people who've been in a marriage and been lonely. Somebody sleeping right next to them and they're lonely. So it has nothing to do with, it's all about the relationship. And in order for you to build that relationship, the man has to feel like you're a safe haven, that he can be himself with you. Yep. And that's really the key to that. So ask yourself, you know, you've been in relationships. Ask yourself, Was I really a safe haven? Did I nag a lot? Then when I noticed that he was quiet, that, I didn't give him time to process. Did I notice that as things were going on with him or whatever, I just expected him to do? Like he said, men process differently. Women will immediately, and not all of us, but most of us, if something hurts us, it's immediately we're going to cry. We're going to be upset. We're going to, speak about our frustrations. Being married, I realized there are a lot of times my husband was frustrated about things and I didn't figure it out until months later. Months. He just went on with the get along. Months later. And it could have been something so simple, but when men don't know how to express that immediate frustration, anything you do after that is just compounds to the frustration.
Yes.
So that's just, so even though to you it may seem so simple, after a while, because you're not a safe haven, or it's I can't talk to you because you don't listen. Because a lot of times it's like you're supposed to be my place. I know you're my place, but you don't listen. It's like you get defensive. That's why I said it's so important to be quiet and to wait and to allow time. And something I had to learn as a wife, and even dating, I had to learn that even when you say something I don't like or I don't agree with, I had to sit in it for a minute. That thing taught me something, because I used to be, thank God for Jesus, thank God for the Holy Ghost, because people who know me know mouth was slick with it. Like I could have a comeback before the words come out your mouth, because I was just gifted like that. I was gifted with words. Thank you, Jesus. Now I know what it was really for, but then it wasn't seasoned with salt. I wasn't being the salt of the earth then. However, when I noticed that, because God had to deal with me, when God said, listen, and even though you don't like it, be quiet. Because the minute he feels like he can't even tell you stuff that he thinks gonna upset you, he gonna shut down and don't say nothing at all. And women, we're not always right. So if I want you to tell me something is bothering you, and I know that I'm probably not gonna like it, but because I'm always on ready, set, go, then you decide I'm gonna shut down. And then women get mad because he shut down. Yeah. But you don't want to be the blame for why he shut down, because he should talk to you. But then when he talked to you, he can't talk to you. It's like, and again, I'm not coming against anybody who's bipolar or schizophrenic, because we know those are real diagnoses, but you're acting like you're schizophrenic. Seriously. So I love when you talked about the vices that men then encounter due to the fact that there's no healthy outlet. Right. To deal with these frustrations and emotions. And you talked about pornography and all of these other things that can be associated with that. And I really want to talk about, because when you talked about that boy to the man thing, there are a lot of women who are single mothers. Yes. And they are raising boys to be men. And of course, we know what situations, we know things happen, we know fathers are not there. Yeah. However, it's funny because as women, we are emotional beings. We talk, we want to work things out. But a lot of single mothers that I've encountered, not all, but a lot, don't know how to bring that part out of the boy to then help him become the man that's in touch with his emotions and his feelings. And you, of course, as the clinician, I want to just try to get an understanding as to why that is when, okay, I'm a woman, I'm raising my sons. I know how important it is to express myself and be emotional, but yet and still I'm raising sons and I'm not giving that to them. Is there a reason for that?
The absence of a father can cause a gaping hole in that boy's life. And with some Some boys are able to navigate through that, deal with that, and move on, and be fine. Some don't. Some actually, just give up on life altogether because they feel like that piece of that life that piece of them that means a lot, that piece of them that could actually make life make sense for them is no longer present or is not present at all. So I'm gonna talk about me. So because my father died early when I was like around 12, 14, that piece of my life actually affected me for more than 15 years in areas like education, getting a job, relationship, friendships, because I didn't have that example. So when a boy does not see that template of what he can look up to, he feels like by default, no one else can do it, even though the mother pushed him out.
Wow.
So, like I said, it's a catch-22 because some are fine and some become fine without that template, without that blueprint. Some cannot function like that. Some cannot function. So this is where the whole falling for the looking for love in all the wrong places come from. For the boys, for us. So but when God fathered me, oh God.
Woo! Come on, sir.
When God fathered me, He had to let me know I made you. And God had to let me understand that you cannot be mad at your father because he did the best he could with what he knew, because this man been through things in his life that I cannot be mad at him for, because I did not deal him that card, those hand. I didn't deal him that hand. So I was mad for so long because of the hand that I was dealt with, because I thought I had a bad hand. But when God taught me how to play my cards and my hand, I was able to see success. I was able to see restoration and healing in certain areas that actually affected me for a long time.
Wow.
So when mothers, you can't feel bad. Single mothers, don't feel bad if your son is not he's not wooing, or he's not coming close to you yet. Don't feel bad for that. It's nothing that you've done. It's nothing that you've done. So now, the absence of a father comes the father. When the absence of a father, we feel that. We actually, the same way a daughter loves their father, and the father is absent, you see how maladaptive her mannerisms and her ways become. It's the same thing for boys. So when we don't see that template, we're just like, I know you didn't give birth to me by yourself, and all we have is a picture. We don't have a memory sometimes. All we have is a picture. It's hard for us to move forward because this picture does what for me? It's nothing. It's a picture. They say pictures hold 1,000 words, which is true. The other words are the other words are the things that we cannot articulate. But single mothers, don't feel bad. They're gonna come around. You just have to be patient. You have to be patient. If you coerce it, they're going to resent you.
Woo! Mm.
If you force it, pressure them, they're going to resent you. Avoid the resentment. Just let them come to you when they're ready, and you'll see the change.
Y'all, woo, my mind is blown. I knew the Lord told me to do this, but y'all, I'm telling you, my mind is blown. First of all, my mind is blown because of these comments that's coming through, and I'm talking about these are men. These comments are coming through from men. Mm-hmm. And my mind is just blown away because they all saying you talking right, like you speaking for them. And I'm just so, feeling like we've been dealt a bad hand brings a shame. Most don't recognize, and even there, and don't walk boys out of the shame, but usually get mad at why you didn't seem to try enough. Wow.
Yes, that's true.
Oh my God.
Very true. That is very true.
Oh my God. Like,
it's
y'all,
deeper than what people think.
And I'm so glad that you're talking about this, because women, let's be honest, we birthed them, but we don't really know them. They come from us, but God made them different for a reason. And so that's why it's important because there are a lot of women looking for love in all the wrong places. But that's why it's important that before you decide to lay down with the man, you know who you're laying down with.
Yes.
Because what's happening is we are laying, and I'm saying we, but we are laying down with men who we don't even know where they come from. What am I saying? There are men that's carrying baggage and generational things over and over, and we are laying down with them and reproducing.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we're dealing with what we're dealing with. Because we're looking for love. We want somebody to touch us. We want somebody to make us feel good. You get 15, 20 minutes of something good, and now you got a lifetime of hell because you done slept with Chucky's father. And you don't know who you laid down with. And it's nothing against him. It's just that because we don't take time to get to know men and get to know what's deep rooted and what hurts and what doesn't hurt, that when things start coming out, then it's, oh my God, who is he now? He done changed. He never changed. You just never got to know him. So when you're meeting somebody for the first time and you notice that they don't have a relationship with their father, or their father may have died, or their father was absent for some other reason, that's why it's so important, instead of having googly eyes and butterflies, to find out exactly who this man is and what's going on with him.
You better preach.
Because clearly there may be some deep-rooted, seated issues that happened or he's still dealing with that now you are about to take on, woman of God, that you may not even be equipped or mature enough to handle.
Yes.
And then you're wondering why you're dealing with the things that you're dealing with. And he talked about it earlier. For those of you guys who missed the beginning, we've been on fire the whole time.
Yes.
When he talked about women being immature, we're not saying because you 50, you immature. We're saying that if you cannot tap in to emotions and pulling that, and what I've noticed, I'm just going to talk about myself in my own journey of being married and really being serious about covering my husband in prayer, because that's another story for another day, but I'm going to tap that in right there. A lot of you want a husband and don't know how to pray. You don't even know if God hears you, but you want a husband. Let me tell you, if you getting a husband the right way, now if you shacking and doing all that stuff, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about a man and wife who really trying to do what God tells you to do. You stand before the church, the bishop and them lay hands on you. Some of y'all do a little dance afterwards and stuff. What I'm telling you is warfare hits your house the minute you say, I do.
Listen
because
to me.
The devil hates covenant. So if you don't get an opportunity to know who you're about to marry and who you standing up in front of emotionally, because some of us, like I said, you be dating somebody 2-3 months and all of a sudden the Lord told you that's your husband. You don't know nothing about him. You don't know nothing about his lineages. You know nothing about his mother and father. You don't know that he was raped as a child. You don't know that he's dealt with insecurity all his life. You just know he was swagged out and he wear Timbs real good, or he could shout, or he could preach. And now you married him. Then the devil hates covenant. Then you don't know how to pray. And that good sex y'all was having before marriage, because it was good before then. When it's legal, all of a sudden you got issues. That's another story for another day.
My God.
But then you wonder why all hell breaking loose, because you done married the love of your life. But just like you got issues, men have issues too. And guess what? All issues are not bad.
Right.
Because we know all things work together for the good.
Exactly.
So that's why it's so important that we take time and we give our men time to process. Because some women are pressuring men to this day. When you gonna marry me? We've been dating a year. I want to be married by 2 years. And that man is saying, I don't even know if I could take care of you.
Ooh, can I
To
say?
himself.
Ooh, can I interject?
You go in,
Ooh,
sir.
ooh. When women do that, everything from that moment forward feels pressured because you're not trusting us enough to be patient. And then you hasty and everything else that you do, and then discouragement comes. Discouragement comes in that context because when you should have trusted God and waited, now you're dealing with unnecessary stress patterns and daily stressors that could have been avoided had you just heard God say, wait, and actually follow suit. So when you rush a man and he does, now he's gonna have to walk on eggshells because you want things at the timing that you want it, and you think the purpose of marriage is to be a slave to you. Oh God! See, so some of y'all gonna
Wow.
get mad at
Come
me.
on through here,
All right,
sir.
all right,
You
all
take
right.
that. You go no. You go right on in that. Take that doorway and swing it open. You go ahead.
I'm coming for yeah, because at that moment, yes, and men should be strong enough to say no. But women at the same time, some women, this is not all, because some women are mature enough. Some women need to be mature enough to hear that no and not rebuttal it or give your opinion under the guise of revelation or wisdom, because we can actually hear the undertones when we're at a space of maturity. Oh, did I say something wrong?
That was good right there. You go, maturity. I mean, first of all, let me tell you, these men on this live, I know y'all dancing in your house because the way they comment is so fast. I didn't know men could type that fast, and they probably on them iPhones like seriously, they like you preach it. You preach it. Somebody said talk. Adrian said talk it, sir. Jay said swing the door wide open. Oh my! Wait a minute. Well, Roger said he dancing, yo.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm glad because this is necessary. This is necessary. Mm-hmm. So necessary. Oh my God. I told y'all we're gonna do another one. Don't be surprised if we be doing this for like 3-4 weeks, y'all. Don't be surprised because this is a loaded,
it's a lot to unpack.
It's a loaded topic. And so I just really wanted to get some of that meat. Ooh, some of that meat to that or whatever. But there are a lot of women now, and what I will say is I've never pressured. I'm fortunate. I've never pressured a man to ask me to marry him because, of course, you like I said, at 30, I got married at 34. But that's because I was living my best life. Like I was traveling, I was doing stuff, I had my own place, I had my own car, I was, living life like it was golden. I wanted to be with somebody. I was getting my education. I was doing all of those things. What I want you to talk about, because and you women, I'm sorry, I'm coming down your row. What makes me so mad is there are women who are in their 20s and 30s who ain't got nothing. When I say nothing, nothing. What do you do for a living? I work. How much money you got in the bank? Nothing. What's your credit score? I don't know. But they got all of these requirements for what they looking for in a man. I mean, they got a list. He got to have a car. He can't live with his mama. He got to have a good job so he could take care of them and all of these things. But when you ask them what they got, they could cook and they could clean. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion about that because I'm not a man. You're a married man.
Yes.
So I just want you to talk about it.
Some women, when they do that, the real question another man should ask is, are you looking for a husband or a substitute father? Are you looking for someone you can do life with, or are you looking for someone that you just mooch off of and feel like you're Princess Diana, but you don't have to actually put in work on your end? I'm gonna talk about me one more time as a man. I'm talking about me. When I met my wife, I'm gonna be raw in this one right here. When I met my wife, I did not have a high school diploma. I was not working at the time. I was dealing with depression heavily at that time, and I felt like my life was going nowhere. This is going to help a lot of people in how you know the one is in front of your face. When I met her, she did not nag me. She did not tell myself to get myself together. She knew my state. And the Lord spoke to me and said, son, get it together. And that's when my life skyrocketed. Now, I was little bumps here and there because I was still dealing with fear in certain places. But as a result of me overcoming these little hurdles, I was able to finish school with honors, even be in a master's program, which I never thought in a million years I would actually be in my life. When someone comes into your life, you have to ask yourself, am I really in their lives to compliment or compete? Am I really in their lives to do my part, or to have them do all the work and I reap the benefits? That is the wrong mentality. The premise of a relationship and a covenant is not for you to sit there and do nothing. Whether you are male or female, if you think that God is going to send someone to you and you're lazy, you are sadly mistaken. You are going to be by yourself in that house with no lights on. You're going to be by yourself, because the truth of the matter is, oh God, see, you trying to get me in trouble. The truth of the matter is that God creates two people to be together for the purpose of kingdom expansion. And with kingdom expansion comes people's personal lives coming into alignment. So what was missing before shows up. Why? Because heaven has agreed with that covenant. Oh God.
Whoa, I told y'all this is gonna be good.
Thank you, Holy Ghost.
You see, I done booked out earlier.
You cannot think in your mind that God is going to send someone to you who's ready and you're still premature.
Premature. With a feeding tube and everything.
Everything. It's not going to work. And what you're going to do is cause shipwreck or warfare to that person's life, because you're so bent on wanting a person in your life that you actually date someone, and to them, they see you as a Jonah. You don't really belong here. So we got to man overboard. We got to throw you overboard because you're not about to wreck this ship. Relationship is a ship. Friendships is a ship. If we set and sail and there's turbulence, somebody does not have a right to be here.
Somebody. Y'all, I gotta take my glasses off. I'm hoping I can still see this screen, y'all, because I'm telling you, my God. Woo! Jesus, fix it.
Woo!
Did y'all know? But did y'all hear that relationship analogy? Did y'all hear that analogy? Woo! Come on! I'm sorry. I told y'all it was gonna be good. We only got like 9 minutes.
I know.
Listen, if the man of God tell me we coming back Monday, and what's funny is, let me tell y'all, I had already told myself, oh, I'm taking off next Monday. I'm not going to do it next Monday. I'm going to give myself. No, we got to come back next Monday because we on fire for the Jesus. Yes. Because I'm telling you, the comments are going crazy. Somebody said he referred to Jonah. Good night. But I'm so glad you said that, because you know, I'm in my 40s and I see women all of the time. I see it on social media, and I'm the type of person, I'm a woman of few words. I know y'all don't believe that, but I am. I'm not going to share or speak unless the Lord releases me to, and we have relationship like that. But everybody want to be a wife. Everybody saying they could cook and clean. I'm going to be honest. My husband is a better cook than I am. My husband, he cleans better than I do. I do it, but he does it better. However, if my husband says this is what we need to do, oh, I'm going to make sure it get done. He knows. And I want to just talk about that because you mentioned it. When you come together, my husband could give me the vision and he know I'm going to have this whole strategy, the implementation and all of that together.
Right.
When my husband said, we need to do X, Y, Z, we need to save this amount of money, whatever. He didn't have a plan on how it was going to get done. See, women, this is why you need to have a brain and you need to learn how to do things. And I'm not talking about just lay on your back. You need to have strategy. You need to educate yourself. You need to learn how to and know how to do things. Because a lot of times God will give your husband the vision, but he don't know how to carry it out. That's what you're there for. Help, meet. So it's your husband or your man or whatever may come to you and say, you know what, babe? I want to go on vacation next year. I think it's time for us to go on a vacation. Some of y'all, because you don't know how to get things moving, because you don't know how to do anything, because in your singleness, you didn't take time to learn things. You're too busy waiting and shouting and praying and hoping that the Lord sent you somebody, that now you have somebody who's a visionary for your house. You don't know how to execute vision.
Right.
So now he's frustrated with you because he's saying, well, I told you I wanted to go on vacation, babe. And you said, well, you didn't tell me what to do next. He like, but I told you that's what I wanted us to do. So a man ain't going to want to marry you if he don't know he can get you. You know what? The Lord just gave me a revelation.
Oh, God.
How he going to give you the seed and you don't know how to birth it?
Oh.
How he going to give you the seed?
That is so good.
And you can't birth it.
That is so
Women,
good.
we are birthers. Men are not birthers. We are birthers. So if he gives you the seed, it's your responsibility to birth the seed, to nurture it, to take care of it, to make sure you eating right, to make sure you exercising, to make sure you going to the doctor. He ain't doing all of that. He may go to the doctor you every now and then, but he working. He being the provider. He gave you the vision. But a lot of women can't carry the seed. So now you got stillborn babies, you know, premature babies, babies who are malnourished because your man that you begged for gave you a seed, and now he see that you can't even bring it to pass. I'm sorry, that thing, I'm telling you, the Lord be dropping revelation. You know what? We can't, y'all, we gonna be, I'm telling y'all, the Lord is up to something. I'm gonna just say that, and I'm gonna have to give, while she's on here, I'm going to have to give Carlene Wright her credit because she said she was waiting for this. So I'm going to have to give her credit. You guys, if you're not following her blog, she's gonna post that up in here so y'all can make sure y'all follow that, because I'm telling you, she said this was gonna happen. But women, so you want a man to marry you, take care of you, provide for you. And I'm not talking about provide meaning he pay for everything and all that other stuff. Because if you've truly, and a lot of women tell you, if you're truly in a marriage, it's a partnership. It doesn't matter who makes more money, it doesn't matter, none of that stuff. There are some men who say, no, listen, I want to do it this way. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it's still a partnership. Doesn't matter who brings in what money. It's the house. It's the fun. If you're doing it God's way, you're working as one. So I'm not saying you put all your money in your pot or whatever. That's another story. We'll talk about finances another time. However, that's why it's so important that who you marry, you know them and you understand. My husband is a man of few words. He's a comedian, but he's a man of few words. But when he says something and I say to him, did God tell us that? He'd be like, yep. I'd be like, bam, 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 bam. I'm the one people see on the forefront. But people don't realize, because women catch this too. A lot of what I do, I've talked to my husband first, or he'll say, you need to do this. You should do that. You should do lives. Why don't you talk about men? Most women, you won't sit and even listen because
Nope.
he not doing it the way you doing it, because you in the spotlight. If you got a real true man, he's gonna push you to the spotlight, but he's gonna advise you and protect you along the way, because he's the seer. He gonna watch while you going. The problem is some of us talk too much, that when he's trying to talk, you too busy talking to your friends. Well, my friend told me to do it this way, or such and such told me to do it that way. When your man is like, you sure? Like, I don't think you should do it that way. I had issues with money. Now, I can make money. I can spend it too. Well, I've been delivered from that in Jesus' name. I've been delivered from that. But my husband said to me, you spend too much money.
Wow.
And I mean, I was making it. I'm still making, thank you, Jesus. But I was making it. He said, you spend too much money. You need to really, truly learn about finances. Now, he's the one who kind of moves things and keeps things going. But he said, you need to learn. Because what about if something happens to me and you don't know? And I said, well, all right, I'll learn. The Lord dealt with me and said, you better learn, because your family ain't going where it need to go if you don't learn.
Oh.
And I said, so you mean to tell me I'm working hard and we ain't going to go nowhere? And the Lord said, submit. Listen to your husband. The minute I did that, money started coming out of nowhere. Nowhere. God even sent the prophet that told me in front of my church, your husband has the strategy. You do what he says. Oh, some women, y'all want to hear that though. You don't want to hear that, because he don't make as much money as you, or he not doing everything you think he's supposed to do, or like, I have a doctorate degree. My husband ain't got no doctorate. He got a bachelor's degree. Oh, but because you ain't on my level. The Lord said, no, he has the strategy. You don't. And I got more education than he do, but I ain't have the strategy. So women running around here talking about, I need somebody on my level. I need somebody who can do this, and I can have educational conversations with. And that's why you're 45 and you're still single. Because my husband is not going to sit and talk now. And y'all know I watch MSNBC all the time, all day. I've been into politics before this, all this stuff. But my husband is not going to sit there and watch that with me. He ain't that type of dude. However, the things that I need to learn and the things that I need to talk to him about, he's the best listening ear I could have ever asked for.
Wow.
He's the one who said, check your attitude, boo. Your attitude sucks. People not going to want to talk to you and listen to you if you don't check your attitude. I'm just talking real to y'all, because at the end of the day, I want to help some of these overly educated, I'm Black woman, hear me roar, I'm an independent woman, you can't tell me nothing, get yourself together, man. That's what y'all be telling them. He said, you're not going to get to where you need to go because you don't know how to talk to people. That was hard for me to hear. But if I didn't listen to him, y'all wouldn't be listening to me today.
Wow, that's wow.
He said to me, Sharon, I know you really want to help people, but your approach is off. Do it like this. I listened to him. You listening to me today? What am I saying? There are going to be men who come into your life, whether it's romantic or not, who may not look like what you want them to look like, may not have what you think they should have. But wisdom is the principal thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of women, you got a lot of mouth, a lot of education, a lot of money, and no wisdom. None.
Wow.
So I'm going to let Earl say his comment, because it's 8:01, but y'all, I ain't even asked his wife or asked his bishop. We'll take care of that stuff on the back end, but I need us to come back on Monday. So Bishop, if you listening, we hope it's okay.
Pastor, please.
And
because
Oh,
we
and
got to do this.
Janelle, your wife's name is Janelle, correct?
Yes.
Am I saying it
Yep.
correctly?
Yeah, that's correct.
Janelle, please, if it's okay, Lord have mercy, because this was
Wife,
just too good. It
please.
was,
I need this.
whoo,
Please.
this was fire, y'all. I'm sorry. So I want you to, tell the people whatever you need to say in your closing remarks.
I'm just grateful that I have a wife that I can work with and that I don't feel like a slave to, and some can't say that. So I'm grateful. I mean, I hope everyone was blessed. We're gonna need at least 2 more weeks with this one, at least a month,
Woo, child.
because she said yes, part 2. She said yes.
Yeah, thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Janelle. Listen, y'all. Wait a minute. Hold up. I got to put my proof up there. Because, listen, all of y'all, I ain't going to ask my husband or my wife nothing and ain't going to submit. That's why you single, too. So, and then when you get married, you're going to realize you're going to want to keep peace in your home. You're going to submit. And its submission works both ways, but that's another story for another day. We might touch on that. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, my God. Roger said, please, pretty please, with cherry on top. Do this for the next month. Roger, it's whatever the Lord says. I know, Jay, an hour is not enough, but we don't want to wear y'all out. We know people got kids. People got to go to work tomorrow and stuff. And honestly, this was so good. First of all, I am honored that you would even grace the platform on today. I'm so honored that you're so candid, because ladies, men a lot of times won't talk because they don't think we listen. Mm-hmm. So I am grateful, first of all, that you have a wife that continues to empower you to speak.
Yeah.
And even with everything that you've gone through recently, and we're going to talk about that next week, because y'all, that's going to take me somewhere else. I might start, or whatever, that you still can share and be in a space where you can be, transparent with your own journey. And so, guys, I'm telling y'all better like, share, tag, send this to your brothers in them. Because if Earl ain't here for nobody else, he's here for the people. He is here for the brothers, I'm telling you. And I am so glad that we're having this conversation. I really am. Look, Carlene said, I am so happy for this. Oh my God, I've been here crying. I hope you heard your shout out, Carlene, because I had to give it to you, because she said she's been waiting for this.
That's my big sister.
But I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. Tag, like, share. I'm going to do a couple of watch parties, y'all, because I believe this information was a rich conversation. It's rich, y'all, if I bust out in tongues like earlier. So it's a rich conversation. And so I'm just so excited about talking about this and honestly giving men a chance to just be without it being the extra bashing stuff. Because honestly, ladies, after a while, you got to ask yourself, if you've been with so many knuckleheads, what's wrong with you? But that's a story for another day. Look, see, Dr. Earl, see, I already told you. And Dr. Sharon, this was amazing. Yes, we're going to speak that Dr. Earl into existence, because we need more Black and brown doctors, especially men. We need them. Doctors are only 2% of the population. We need more. We need more people, because honestly, we have to work harder to not even just have a seat at the table, but to build our own tables. Our credibility is substantiated upon how much education we have. And it's unfortunate, but a master's degree is like a GED now, because everybody got one. Yeah. And so there are people who are not going to take that extra step. And so I'm just grateful, like I said, that you came on. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm blown away. Woo. So y'all like, share, start some watch parties, because this one was for the books, for real. I am so excited to catch the recap and looking forward to the next conversation as well. This is good. Dad, you about to be our resident men correspondent.
That's fine by me. I'll take it.
Yeah, y'all see how I talk that into existence, right? I'm saying correspondence like I'm CNN or something. goodness. Somebody, Joel said part 2 and 3. I mean, the men are happy you are here. Bless you, woman of God. Thank you for having a space and a platform. See, that's why you got a good wife. See?
Oh,
He
I'm
who
sorry.
finds a wife. Some of y'all ain't wives, though, but that's another story for another day. You married, but you ain't a
That's another
wife.
story. That's another.
Whew. So I'm going to go. You know what Roger said? My hairline's still intact. Men, we're glad that we were able to bless you on tonight. I'm just so excited. So again, tag, like, share. I will see you guys next week. Take care. God bless you. Take care of your families. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Wear your mask. Don't go to no parties. Don't do all of that extra stuff because, again, it's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. Half of y'all don't even speak to your family until it's a holiday or a funeral anyway. So don't risk your life for the sake of saying that you went somewhere. Be safe, be responsible, and make sure that you take care of yourselves. I love you all. God bless you. I will see you next week. Bye.